I'm Dr. Marília Bergamo. I'm from University of Newcastle, Australia. And the work I'm going to present here is a collab with the Master of Arts, Sandro Benigno, from Federal University of Minas Gerais. What we did was a hardware speculation, assuming that plants behave like colonies with many independent but connected parts. This is extended abstracted, describe the board to emulate cellular automata principle as a solution to biomimetic those organisms. Our research is inspired by the books of Stefano Mancuso, The Revolutionary Genius of Plant, and A New Understanding of Plant Intelligence and Behavior. So in his research, he argues that plants evolve for sessile organisms. So their boards are modular and without individual organs. In terms of decision-making, plants frequently reveal opposite strategies of those produced by animals. And still they can also mimic, negotiate it, and their intelligence also resembles networks. So according to his research, the approaches in design and engineer are generally based on animal functions. And in several situations, it may not be technological advance. So thinking about this idea and reading those research, we thought about focus on the idea of a plant rhizoma, where we created this hardware thinking in a way of mimicking this concept of rhizoma, like you took a part of a structure and another one create and keep growing and having new individuals. So as a result, we created this hardware, which is the main focus of the research right now. We wanted to create it, make it available as an open source, and also to make it execute this in creating a plant and make sure it was working. So if you have a look on the hardware, it is designed as an octagonal robotic cell. It's an open source project by my colleague Sandro Benigno. It's oriented to the interconnection of multiple units to form a network with independent entities. Each cell has a local sensibility capacity, and the collected data can be shared among its neighbors. So just as a cellular automata model. So radial positions of the physical ports and of the cell characterize the boards. So if you have a look here, it's that main flux of information. It's what we are looking for, and we wanted to make it as stable as possible. So there is a door on each edge according to the cardinal direction. So we always had north, south, east, and west. And the primary system resource are distributed to these points. So power supply, communication, and sensing as external activations. In the board, you can see that those are related to the sensing pins. So we can, and also we have here some exclusive pins to work with the actuators when it's necessary. Here is a image of the board, a real one. When you can see like this, squares are centimeters, so they are around 5 centimeters, and this is the last one I've been assembling for my next project. So the last project, the one I presented here, was it was created as a row of units where I put some actuator here, like a RGB LED. There is also vibrator motor inside of each of those things, and also light sensors to create this idea of robotic flowers. If you guys wanted to know more about the board itself, as I said, it's an open source. It's easy to be recreated, and it's all in Sandro Benigno's GitHub. This is the robotic plant I developed it to create the sculpture. It was presented in Mayo exhibition in Museum of Republic in Brasilia, in Brazil. It was using the boards, and it has one of those boards, each one in these structures here, and also in those two here. Those two ones were just extension of one of these with LEDs, and it was just like the same board. So in this extended abstract, I will not deal with the aesthetic issues. It was presented in different conferences that involve the distribution and final form of the plant robotic. But what we need to describe here, it was a simple one-dimensional grid, a line of 5 nodes with 2 small floors were only extensions of the one node without the capacity to formal local decision make. But the ones that have local decision make, they have states. So each node has a state. So the first state is generating energy for the grid, which has the purple lighting. Being pollinated actually was an interaction. We consider with the blue light, and it was triggered by the interruption of light. We have a critical state, which was characterized by a red light, and we also activate the vibration actors. And we have the dead state, defined by the white lighting. So when we started the robotic structures, we started with a random initial state for all of them. The decision-making process of the state machine was like, if my neighbor on the right is active, purple, I'm also purple. But if my neighbor on the right is being pollinated, becoming blue, I remain active and purple. But if my 2 neighbors are being pollinated, I got into a critical condition like red. So if I am pollinated and one of my neighbors is in critical state, I might die and becoming white. I have here a video. If there is enough time, I show you a little bit of this working. But I have some pictures that I want to show you, like it turning blue. What we consider pollinating is actually a human interaction. And then turning red, you have 2 people interaction here. And the conclusions of the idea, it's like we wanted to create a board. We want to make sure it was working, and we want to make it real, right? And so what we get is that the network of nodes can grow as a grid. So we can grow with each 7 units. We need a 12 volts power source. And the other thing is that system maintains consistency. So the internal logic it's conducted to developing plants. So the idea was that we could establish a logic and create conditions for unfolding robotic plants organized in network through wiring and physical structures that can be discarded and repositioned in another points of the network. So working with previous research, I tried using Wi-Fi, and it was very unstable and didn't work properly as the idea of plants. So creating this physical connection, it was very important for the stability of the decision make. And this metaphor relates to the replication and growth of similar structures in sexual organisms. What this research follows and needs to go for is to observe the patterns in one-dimensional grid in the robotic cellular automaton, and create more complex grids of nodes of 4 neighbors to nodes to understand the difference of pattern recognition. So if you still have some time, I would like to show the video here of the exhibition. It was in the Instagram of the exhibition. So I thank you all for paying attention on my presentation.